So unlike your high school GPA, your credit score is a number that actually matters for real life things such as getting a mortgage or getting a loan for a car payment or any other type of big loan. So this video is going to be explaining exactly how that whole system of credit scoring works. And I'm also going to explain the 5 factors that go into determining your credit score. I'll explain each factor in detail. I'll talk about the weight and the importance of each individual factor. And then at the end, I'll explain or give a good tip as to how you can improve each individual factor. A quick disclaimer, I'm not a credit score reporting professional, if that's even a thing, but I do spend quite a bit of time researching these topics. So if you guys do like the video, make sure you hit the like button. So the first thing I want to talk about are the 2 main types of scoring models. A scoring model is kind of a system that's used to get your credit score. You have the FICO score and the Vantage score. The FICO score has been around for a lot longer, and it's actually what's used by most lenders. The Vantage score is what's used by a lot of the new apps and websites, such as Credit Karma. It's important that before you get any type of loan that you know your FICO score. The difference between the two might be small. Mine last week, I checked, it was a 5-point difference, but it can be up to 30 to 50 points difference between the FICO score and Vantage score. You can get your FICO score from myficoscore.com, but I think they charge you like $30 a month. Instead, you can go to different websites, such as you can actually go to the Discover website. You don't even have to have a Discover credit card, and you just put your information, sign up really quick, and they give you a free FICO score that's actually pulled from the Experian Bureau. So there are 2 main credit scoring models, and then you need to know that there are 3 credit scoring agencies, which include Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. These agencies are where your credit information is sent to. That information is compiled, and then using the different models, you get a credit score. So the reason why you might have a different score for one agency as compared to the other, say TransUnion as compared to Experian, is because companies aren't required to report to all 3 agencies. So now going over to the 5 factors that affect your credit score using the FICO scoring model, the first and most important one, which makes up 35% of your score, is your payment history. You have to make sure you pay things on time, and you don't have to pay things in full for it to be considered paid on time. You have to at least pay the minimum, which I think is $25 to $35 for your credit card. That being said, I don't suggest doing that because then you have to pay the insanely high interest rates for credit cards, but that is at least what you have to pay. The second most important factor is the credit utilization, which makes up 30% of your credit score. The credit utilization ratio is basically the amount of credit you use as compared to the overall credit you have available. There are 2 main types of credit utilization. You have utilization per card and then overall utilization. It's important to stay below 30% on both of these types of utilization. So for example, if you have 2 credit cards, one with a $5,000 limit and one with a $2,000 limit, it's important that for the $5,000 limit card, you stay below 30% of that, meaning you stay below $1,500. And then for the $2,000 credit card limit, you stay below $600. Now, if you stay below 30% on each individual card, obviously you will be below the overall 30% of the total limit. So it's important to stay below 30% of these limits. And actually, if you're striving for the perfect score, the best possible score, you want to stay below 9%, which honestly, I don't even do. But the way credit cards work is that you want to use your credit cards, you just want to use them as little as possible. So if you want to get the absolute best score, stay below 9%. And 3 quick tips to improve your credit utilization would be: first, to trim spending, which is the easiest, most obvious one. The second one is to pay off your card multiple times a month so that it doesn't hit above whatever limit you want to use, whether it's 9 or 30%, which is actually what I do. Once my credit utilization hits about 20 to 25%, I pay it off, I wait for my balance to turn to 0, and then I continue to use that card. Or you can actually increase your credit card limit, therefore increasing the possible utilization of that card. The third factor I want to talk about is the credit history length, which makes up 15% of your credit score. There really isn't much you can do about this one. This is actually the reason why it's practically impossible to find somebody who's very young with a credit score above 800, is because they simply haven't had credit lines open long enough. My only tip for this would be to not close credit lines. So if you get a new credit card, try not to close the credit cards you've been using previously, especially if you have been actually using it, because it will hurt you. It won't destroy your card, but it will hurt you. So try not to close any credit lines unless you have annual fees or some other reason why you have to close it. The fourth factor, which makes up 10% of your credit score, are credit inquiries. You have two main types of credit inquiries. You have hard inquiries and soft inquiries. The soft inquiries are, for example, if you check your own credit score using something like Credit Karma, or before you get a job, you have a background check. Typically, you don't need permission to get a soft inquiry. The hard inquiry is actually what hurts your credit score, and this is what's used by lenders before you get a mortgage or some type of, say, a loan for a car payment. And typically these hurt you by about 4 to 6 points. And although this stays on your credit report for technically 2 years, it only lasts, or you only see the impacts for about a few weeks to a few months. Tips for this factor is to try to limit the amount of hard inquiries to 2 times per year or once every 6 months. And the fifth and last factor is the types of credit used, which makes up 10% of your credit score. There are 3 main types of credits. You first have open accounts, which is like paying off your credit card every month. This information is sent to your agencies monthly. You have installments, which is like paying off a mortgage or a car loan. This is also reported monthly. And then you have open accounts, which is like paying a cell phone bill or your internet bill. And this is only reported to agencies whenever you fail to make a payment. So there really isn't a tip for this. I mean, obviously you're not gonna go get a mortgage to improve your credit score. Just know that whenever you do go get a mortgage, if you don't already have one, or any of these 3 types, it will help. The more types you have, the better your credit score. Anyway guys, that's it for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the like button if you did, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this.